Hello everyone, welcome to this Odoo webinar, part of the Odoo webinar series. My name is Aaron, I'm a business advisor here at Odoo. To everyone who's just joining right now, please feel free to drop down in the chat where you're coming from right now. I'm actually currently in San Francisco in the Odoo office. It is a beautiful sunny day, so definitely looking forward to the weather. Also, please feel free to drop down any questions you might have about field service or help desk down below. I know there's probably gonna be a lot of questions coming my way, so we have our moderators on our team that will be answering any of your questions, and I also can answer any questions not on the webinar, but after. Please feel free to email me. So this is part of the Odoo webinar series. I will be going over field service and help desk application. More specifically, I will be going over how to create tickets, how to submit tickets, how to plan interventions in help desk, and then turn that into a field service task and going over some general basics about field service and how that works on that end. Some basic information about myself. My name is Aaron Sutton. I'm a business advisor at Odoo. You could catch me on the sales floor usually every day. I will be doing demos, answering phone calls, doing all the fun sales stuff. So please feel free to reach out to my email or my main line down below. I would love to answer any questions, or if you have any feedback, I would love to hear it. So just a brief presentation. I'm actually a firm believer that presentations on webinars get kind of boring. So don't worry, this one isn't too long. This one's just pretty brief, so don't you worry. So the first thing I would like to talk about is just a general overview about Odoo. This is kind of our bottom line. We believe at Odoo of integration, scalability, and flexibility. So you'll see throughout the webinar integration between different applications, how they talk to each other, and how easy it is to use. You'll also see how easy it is to scale your business on a database in Odoo. We deal with a lot of customers ranging from businesses that have one employee all the way to thousands of employees. So it's super easy to scale your database in Odoo. And the last thing is flexibility. The cool thing about Odoo that is really unique is that we have flexible features that you can use to create your database and make it unique and your own. So we have this feature called Studio that I will be going to briefly that makes your database really interesting and new. Some brief industries that use field service, any IT services, HVAC, industrial equipment businesses, construction. Then you got your standard like electricians or plumbers. They all use field services. The company that I think when I think field service is AAA, as when your car breaks down, they come and help and assist you. So what we'll be covering in this webinar is we'll be covering how to submit tickets. We'll be covering how to create and assign tasks. Then we'll be going into the field itself and repairing and replacing any parts. And at the end of the day, making sure the customer is happy with what they received. So now that we're done with all the boring stuff, you could say, let's get into the company that we'll be working on in this database. So the company we'll be going on is called Ice Machine Repair Services, Inc. And what they do is they actually repair ice machines and ice cream machines in a lot of restaurants throughout the San Francisco Bay Area. So as you can see, I'm assuming a lot of you guys out there have gone to the drive-thru at like McDonald's, for example, and you want an ice cream on a really hot day. You go in the drive-thru and you hear them say, "Hey, our ice cream machine's broken. We're sorry, we can't help you." This happens a lot. However, our business at Ice Machine Repair Services can take care of that problem and make sure you can get your ice cream ready to go. We have 3 employees with this company. We have Wendy. She is the help desk manager. She runs help desk itself. She helps run the schedule, and she is the first point of contact with the customer. We have Ronald. He is our repair technician, and we have Jack, who's another repair technician. These 3 make up Ice Machine Repair Services, Inc. So now let's get straight into the demo. Here is our Odoo database. Here is the main webpage of Odoo. As soon as you create a database with Odoo, these are the applications that Ice Machine Repair Services have installed and purchased. They are currently, they originally started 6 months ago. From Wendy, they started on Excel spreadsheets and they had their website through Wix. However, we've heard this a lot here at Odoo. Excel spreadsheets absolutely became a mess with them. They had problems as everything they were inputting on a field just became a mess. They couldn't really help customers. They couldn't help get tickets. They were just doing calls and the website wasn't that great. However, with Odoo, everything became seamless and easy for them. They now integrated their website completely with Odoo. So now currently using Odoo's website. And this is great because it's connected with Odoo's help desk application. So they could receive tickets from their website, making it very good and efficient. So Wendy, who is our first point of contact, she is our help desk manager. The one feature she really likes is our contacts application. So if you see our contacts application right here, this application Wendy loves because it is where the center of where all of our customers and all their information is on this portal. Not to mention it's free, but that's beside the point. So contacts application, this is an application that Wendy just enjoys. You have customers' information. You even have the vendor's information right here. This is the vendor that Ice Machine Services goes to directly to purchase their parts to repair their machines. And then there's also all the customers right here. So if we were to click on a customer portal, we can see their basic contact information, such as their address, their phone number, their email, and then we even have smart buttons at the top that says any sales or tasks or tickets that are associated with this customer. So I'm going to go back to the main dashboard at Odoo. And now we are going to get into the flow of how this business operates. So the first thing they do is when they create their website, they wanted it a way so customers could reach out to them and submit a ticket. So if we go on to the website, this is Ice Machine Repair Services website. The cool thing about the website at Odoo is you have your own customer portal built into the website. So for example, if we were to go on to my account, we can see any quotations, sales orders, or even tickets submitted with this customer login portal. And we can even see a description and the stage of which all the tickets with this customer are in. If we go back to the home screen, a customer who goes onto the website of Ice Machine Repair Services sees these tabs up at the top. They see the shop. Currently, Ice Machine Repair Services, they will be selling their products that they use to repair businesses to loyal clientele. However, currently their main point of business is through the help desk as they go out into the field and help any customers that have broken ice machines. So all a customer needs to do is go onto the website and just submit a ticket using some basic information. So you could type this information right here. And the cool thing that I'm going to point out while I type this information is you can actually create all these fields using the edit button in website. So this does not require our studio function. It actually entails our website edit function, but you could edit these cells. You could delete any fields, anything like that. You can customize it any way you would like, which is super unique and amazing. So I'm going to type in some basic information. This is a returning customer. So let's just say their phone number and address are already in the contacts application, but then we could put a subject. So customer 2 is a recurring customer here at Ice Machines Inc. So we could just say what the subject line is. Let's just say we need help with our ice cream machine. No typos, that's surprising. Then we can also put a description of what the problem is. We also want their address or phone number, just so we know how to contact them and when we go on site, where to meet them. However, we are a returning customer, so we are just going to fill it out like this, and we are going to submit. Once it is submitted, we now can jump into Wendy's point of view as the help desk manager. So when we're in Wendy's point of view, she logs on, let's just say a Monday. She clocks in on Monday. She logs onto her Odoo database and she hops right into Helpdesk. So the Helpdesk function is where you could see all your tickets. So she jumps into the customer care and she sees the ticket right here that we just created, which is we need help with our ice cream machine. So what's cool about the Helpdesk application is there's different stages. So we have the new stage and progress stage, and then we have like solved and canceled, and you can collapse these anytime you want. Before I go into the ticket, I do want to point out how if you want to configure the way you receive tickets, you can actually configure that all in the settings of the help desk of the customer care. So if we hit the 3 dots and then we go into settings, this is where we can configure everything. So for example, for assignment and visibility of where you want to see what employee received the ticket, you can actually configure it right here. So for this, I made sure that Wendy is the only person that will be receiving these help desk tickets, as she is the only worker that touches that. We can also add any channels of how we'll be receiving the tickets. So we can add an email alias that we created right here. But our preferred method is obviously the website form. Then we can also track and build time and do a whole bunch of other stuff, but I will save that for another time. So hopping back right into the ticket, this is the ticket that the customer 2 created. So as soon as Wendy gets the ticket, she sees if it's a returning customer, a new customer. What's super cool about Odoo is she can easily just click on customer 2 right here, and she could see the customer portal right here. So she knows that this is a return customer, as she already sees some sales and some tickets and tasks assigned to this customer, and she already sees that the address is already there. But what's super cool about Odoo, and this is where the integration between each app comes into play, is as soon as we clicked in customer 2, we're now looking into the contacts application, but actually through Helpdesk. So we could see this is what the contacts looked at that I showed in the beginning, but now we could see it right here into use. So now we're going to go back into the ticket. And now what Wendy is going to do is she reaches out to the customer and calls them, as she wants to know when is a good time to schedule. She wants to see the schedule of both her field service technicians, and also to know the schedule of the customer to know when is a good time to reach out and to see if it's a good time to go out into the field. So what she does as she's calling this customer, she then checks the schedule of her technicians. So she goes into field service application, and then she can go up to the top to planning. She can plan by user, project, or worksheet. For this, she goes plans by project. She could plan by day, week, month, or year. She plans by week, and she sees for today, both Ronald and Jack are pretty busy for the week, but it looks like Jack is pretty free for today. So she is going to see, okay, I'm going to assign this one to Jack. Some cool things that are really unique about the Odoo planning dashboard and field service is you could see that it is actually attached to our time off application. So these are all the tasks that are assigned. Anyone could just hover over it and you could see who's it's assigned to, the day, the time that it's supposed to go. What's super cool, because it is connected with the time off application, you could see where it's time off. So for Saturday and Sunday, it is actually grayed out because that is when Ronald and Jack are not in office. So if Ronald, for example, took time off because he was sick on Thursday, you can easily tie that to the time off application, and this will pop up gray right here. Another thing about this planning that's super cool is that if two things intersect with each other and conflict, like two tasks, Odoo will automatically have a red triangle up at the top telling you one other task for this employee is at the same time and that they're conflicting. To solve this, you can easily just drag and drop it. And now we're giving this assignment to Jack, and now that red triangle is gone and the conflict is gone. So back to the scenario, Wendy is on the phone with the customer. She sees that Jack has availability for Wednesday, and the customer wants an immediate repair for today, and they want an AM visit for today. So what Wendy does is she goes back into Helpdesk, goes back into the ticket, understands that, okay, this is a customer that wants an AM visit today, and we have one of our field service workers, Jack, who can assist her. So what she could do is she could actually log what's going to happen in what we like to call our chatter. So if you see on the right side of this screen right here, there's this big text box. This is what we like to call our chatter. It's essentially just a log of everything going on about this page. So with the chatter, she could send any messages internally to employees like Jack and Ronald, or externally to this customer, similar to Gmail. She could log any notes for her use, and she can also schedule an activity. So for this, she called this customer. She found out that this is going to be an AM visit for September 28th, and this is going to go to Jack. So for this, what's super interesting is you can easily assign it to a specific employee. You could put a due date, a summary, and the activity type. For this, we're going to mark as done, as the call went well. Now that is logged in the chatter, the next thing she is going to do is she is going to plan an intervention. So if you go to the top left of the screen, what plan intervention does is it pretty much allows this task to be viewed into field service. It connects field service and Helpdesk together. So the title is very similar to, you could change this up however you would like, but this title is what it was on the website subject line. The project is going to be in field service. The worksheet template, which we will go into later, is default worksheet, and then the customer is customer 2. You can also go into the customer portal again by clicking this external link button, and you're back in the customer portal, showing more how Odoo is integrated with different parts. So now Wendy, she creates and views the task. And now she's in field service. She's technically not in field service. As you can see, we're still in Helpdesk, but we're in the field service view, as this is what field service looks like on its page. So what she's going to do now is she is now going to assign this to Jack. And then she's also going to put the planned date. So the planned date is September 28th, today at 10 a.m. Hits apply, and there we go. Some cool things about this dashboard is she can create any tags. So tags are very good for filtering. So if she wants to say, oh, this is going to be a repair, or this is going to be another intervention, she could easily create a new tag to filter. You can also add that it's a recurrent task. Let's just say you have clientele that have problems that occur over and over, or you want like a yearly maintenance. You can add it that is reoccurrent right here. So now let's save this. And now it's going to be in Jack's eyes. So the last thing that Wendy has to do is she has to send out a confirmation email to the customer itself so that they know that Jack will be coming. So we can easily click on this, and then we can create a confirmation email right here and send it directly in the chatter. So what she's going to do is she's going to send message, and you can actually, if you have a certain type of message, you can configure it. You can add an attachment right here, or you can configure it right here, and you can create your own email template and automate it, telling the customer, hey, we're going to be here at a certain day and time. Since this company is pretty new and they like everything pretty manual, we're just going to do this outright and manual. Again, this is something you can automate. We're just going to make this short and brief. So we're just going to say, hello, customer 2. We are confirming your appointment for September 28th at 10 a.m. with Jack. Super brief. So then we can easily send this out to the customer, and now it's sent out to the customer without even going into another account like Gmail or anything like that. And it's also confirmed in the chatter. So now that we're done with Wendy, we're now going to go into Jack's eyes and go into his view into field service and see how he does when he goes out into the field and repairs this ice cream machine. So now we are going to jump into Jack's point of view. And to do that, he logs on today. Let's say he comes in the office at 8 in the morning. He goes onto the field service application. And what he does is as soon as we're on Jack's account, all of his tasks will be right here. Because we're on the admin account up top, his tasks won't pop up at first. But if he was on his own login, it would pop up right here. So to look at Jack's schedule, he goes up to planning. And he plans by project, by week. And he sees that he has a task for today, which is the customer that we just created at 10 a.m. So he sees this and he realizes, okay, I have work that I have to go. What's super cool about Odoo is we have our own map function. So if you have problems of getting directions, we have our own map feature that could help assist you there. So if you go over to the right side of your screen, you might see this map function. You click on map, and now we can see a map of all the locations for field service of this project. We can filter it smaller. So if you want to see different projects, so for example, if we filter it to plan for today, these are all of the tasks that Ron and Jack have for today. It is numbered 1, 2, and 3. It is numbered on the time of day. So if it's early in the morning, it's going to be 1. If it's later in the day, it's going to be 2, then 3 in order. For this, we can easily click on 1 and see this is Jack's at 10 a.m. Customer 2, the address. We can easily click navigate to, which will connect us to Google Maps. So he can have easy tracking there. But let's just say he knows where this is. He's been to this customer before, so he memorized the address, so he doesn't need that, and he arrives and he clicks open. So now we are in Jack's field service with this task. The first thing he does as soon as he arrives on site is he starts the time. As soon as he starts the time, you will see the clock running, and this is tied to the timesheets application in Odoo. The time will also be tracked here down below in the timesheets tab, but that will happen once we stop the time. So now he starts the time as we charge both customers on the products used and also our time involved as technicians. And the first thing he does is he then realizes, oh, you're missing a couple parts. So what's super cool about Odoo is what he does is you can easily add the products you need that you use for the project by clicking into the product smart button. As soon as you click onto products, these are all the products that we currently have as a company that require ice cream service functions. So he sees, okay, they need a replacement part and they also need some screws and they need, let's say, some nuts and bolts. As soon as we do this, it'll automatically create a sales order. And if we click in that sales order, we can see the products already attached that we added. So this is a super useful function as it automatically clicks on the products that you use. And this is connected to the inventory application within Odoo. So let me briefly go over that real quick. If we go into the inventory function within Odoo and we go up to products, we can see our whole product inventory of how many units that we have on hand. For example, if Jack goes into this customer and realizes, oh, they need an ice cream valve or they need a stainless steel pump and there's no units available in his van, he can easily just purchase more through our purchase application through the machine parts vendor, and he could either deliver it to the customer's location or deliver it to the ice machine's headquarters and then have another field service and go back to the customer to repair it officially. But it looks like all the products he needs, which are replacement part and screws, are on hand, so he doesn't have to worry about purchasing and ordering new parts. So we go back to the field service. We can go back to the task itself. I can go back to the task multiple ways. I can click on all tasks. If we're connected to Jack's database, it would pop up on the main stage, on the main screen of field service. But for this one, we have to do this manually. So now the time is still running. The products are added. He finishes doing the repair. All looks good. He now stops the time. As soon as you stop the time, it defaults to 15 minutes. You can configure this default any way you would like in the settings, but for this, it defaults to 15 minutes. We are going to say 1 hour. It took 1 hour to complete it, and we can even describe the activity. For this, we're just going to put 1 hour, super basic. And as soon as we do that, we can see under timesheets that it tracked the employee, the hour spent, and we can even add the initially planned hours in the progress. Super, super useful. And then you can easily automate this as well. So as soon as you stop the time, it'll automatically be added in the sales order itself right here. But for this, like I said earlier, they like everything super manual as they're just starting out. So they like to input everything manually. So for this, they put the timesheet service on timesheets, and they charge $120 an hour. So everything looks right. We charge them for the parts. We also charge them for an hour-long service. We're going to save this, and then we're now going to finish our worksheet. So this is our worksheet. This is something that's super vital for field service. What a worksheet is, for example, if you need to know like the manufacturer, the model, or the serial number of a specific machine that you're working on, and even some information about the customer, you can create your own worksheet to give you that vital information. The really cool thing about worksheet is it actually is tied to our studio application. So I said earlier that Odoo is very flexible and customizable. This is where Studio comes into play. So if you go up top and you see these tools, this is Studio. So if you toggle Studio, this is where we can customize our worksheet. You can drag texts, you can add fields, related fields, many to one. You can do a lot through the Studio application. It's one of those applications that requires its own demo, so I won't be getting much into depth into it here. However, this is how we created this worksheet, is we built it straight up using the Studio by dragging and dropping. So I'm going to close this out. Now I'm just going to type in some basic information. I'm going to type my name. I can type the manufacturer, the model, the serial number of the parts I worked on or the ice cream machine. I'm going to click that this is a second intervention. I can add the reason for intervention. I can add maybe like I hereby certify that these products met the criteria of a certain standard. And then I could date this and time this. So now I'm going to draw a signature as Jack saying that everything seems correct. And as soon as I finish that worksheet, I now can, let me go back into it. Which one was it? Here we go. The worksheet is now complete. So when the worksheet's complete, you get that checkbox that green checkbox, and now you need the customer signature. So to get the customer signature, you can just click sign report, and now you need the customer signature. So what I said earlier, how there's a customer portal and website, we're actually now back into the customer portal right here. So in the customer portal, we can see this is what we're going to be charging them on. This is the customer's information. This is the worker. Then we can even see down below the worksheet that the worker signed. So now we're going to customer sign this. We're going to doctor signature that. And now we can easily download this and print it. But for this case, we're just going to go back into edit mode, and we can easily send this report out to the customer so they have a copy. We can just send it out. We can add a specific template if we would like, but we're just going to send it out like this. And there we go. So the last couple of things we need to do before we finish this off is we need to make sure, we need to tell Odoo that we delivered the products. So to do that, we are going to confirm the order. And as soon as we confirm the order, it automatically creates a delivery order. So what a delivery order is, it's connected to inventory within Odoo. So as soon as I click this smart button, I'm technically in Odoo's inventory application. And what we need to do is we need to tell that we used these parts in order to fulfill this order. So as soon as I hit validate, it's going to tell Odoo that the demand and the products that we reserved for this are now no longer going to be in our inventory. So I'm going to hit validate and hit apply. And now we know that they are completely done. And now if we go back into the sales order, we now can finally invoice the customer. So once you finish delivering it and telling Odoo you delivered it, you can now create the invoice. You can do a regular invoice, a down payment. You can do a fixed amount. For this, we can just hit create and view invoice. They just wanted a regular amount. And now here is the invoice itself. It's in draft stage. So now we want to confirm it. And then we can either send and print this or just register payment. Customer wanted to pay on the spot. We could register their payment details, create payment. It'll tell you when in payment. And the last thing we need to do is just mark as done, letting Odoo know that we finished this. And now we can easily go on to the next task or the next assignment we need to do on the maps. So what we did today is we created a task within field service. We did it multiple ways. We first started off in website where we made it start in the customer portal. And then through the customer portal, we made our way onto Helpdesk where we submitted a ticket. We assigned it to one of our employees, created an intervention. Then through field service, we looked at worksheets, we looked at the maps, and we even invoiced and delivered it to the customer. I want to thank everyone for your time. Please follow us. Here are Odoo socials. And more importantly, I just want to personally thank you. If you want to set up a meeting with me, you can set up a demo. Here's a QR code right here where we can easily discuss anything. If you have any feedback or questions, I would love to hear it. But thank you so much, and hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care.